I regularly break my computer, and I get so sad when I do. All right, are we ready to record now that I'm in a bad mood?
Oh,
Let's talk about all the things I love dying around me.
I think we're ready.
Yeah, we should be all good.
I would say that you're in the prime emotional state to start talking about Fate Stay Night.
Oh yes, I can't wait to talk. Okay, I'm very excited to talk about this. All right, start the show.
Okay. We don't really have a sign-in. Usually I just pick a random bit of audio, and then it kind of sounds like an awkward conversation that's happening first, and then we eventually transition into the actual show.
That's fine.
Oh, hey, I didn't notice you there. Welcome. This is a very special episode of Japanophiles featuring our favorite internet celebrity, Asterios KOKKINOS.
Hello, everybody. Wait a minute. Are you guys scared of Japan, or do you want to fuck Japan?
Well, we're not Japanophobes, so...
Okay, that's Japanophobes. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to get right in there. Play with that you want to get right in there in Japan. I get it. You little perverts. Right. Well, hello.
This is a great way to start off a podcast.
Yes.
I hear all these jokes. Look, I didn't know shit about Japan. I started dating a girl like 5 years ago. She's part Japanese, former Japanese teacher. Oh, and she what? She doesn't just call it like anime and manga. She calls it animu and mango. She's always, it's not My Hero Academia. She'll go My Hero Macadamia. She's got all these jokes, and now I know all the jokes too.
Now, out of curiosity,
yes,
has Sarancha told you anything about this franchise? It doesn't seem like her bag.
Night?
Yes.
Yes.
No, look, I'll tell you why I want to know about this thing. I used to be the only Asterios on the internet. I had perfect SEO. When you Googled Asterios, you always found me. Now, all of a sudden, one day, I'm Googling my name like I do every morning. And then I see a sexy bull man covered in chains. And everyone's like, oh, I love Asterios. Oh, I wish Asterios would put me in his maze of sex. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And now my SEO's ruined.
I completely forgot about that, actually.
Yeah.
Great research, guys.
Great research.
We'll get into why.
We're going to get into why it is reasonable that we do not know that the Minotaur's name is Asterios.
Yeah. I assumed 80% of the episode would be about this Minotaur.
Well, this is the Minotaur Minute.
Okay, Minotaur Minute. Let's start.
All right.
I think it's over.
Why's it got to be so attractive? Why couldn't he be an ugly Minotaur?
Do you feel threatened?
Of course I do. Are you kidding me?
There's lots of girls in that game for the male fans. They just have to introduce some cheesecake for the female fans.
Yeah.
I get it. Have you seen his sexy
Some girls
white hair?
just want a bowl.
Have you seen his sexy white hair?
Yeah.
Have you seen his sexy white hair and red eyes?
Yes.
Very similar to another Asterios we know.
You guys are too kind. Flattery will get you everywhere.
As another question,
yes.
How much do you know about visual novels?
You know, I didn't know much until I started dating this girl. Because she's like, she'll always do a thing where she's like, I'm playing a weird visual novel from 1994. The rights to it were tied up for 20 years, but it finally got released. And I'll be like, is it good? And she'll be like, no, it's not very good.
Oh, yeah, School Days
But I've
is
been
terrible.
looking forward to playing it. Well, I'm sorry, what'd you say? Cut you right off.
School Days is terrible.
Yeah, I know about School Days, all right. All those kids kill each other, and they eat each other, and they kill each other on the boat.
It's a nice boat, to be fair.
It is a very nice boat.
How much of what I just said is correct? That they kill and eat
I don't
each other?
remember eating.
Cannibalism.
Yeah,
but killing, certainly.
There is incest.
I hear it's like a pretty normal game, and then all of a sudden, like, the girl you like stabs you to death on a boat.
It takes a hard left turn.
Yeah. Well, that's just one of the bad endings. You can play through the game and have like a completely typical high school romance and not see that.
Yeah, you kind of have to be a real bastard to get that ending and like try to fuck everybody.
Ooh, but hot. Okay,
Yes.
what's
So
the good ending?
So it's
You get like
kind
a
of like a way for
harem of
losers
girls,
to-
like
to,
any
like,
good visual
simulate
novel.
dating.
In most
Well,
cases, yes.
Yeah, the Japanese visual novel industry is a little odd because you actually get more money and funding for your game if there's porn in it.
I'm listening.
So you get a lot of games, the principal idea of which is we just want to tell a story or sell toys or whatever. But in order to do that and like have it be more expensive and get the big bucks, let's just put some porn in it.
Yeah, you're almost guaranteed to get people to buy a game because there's attractive characters that you know are sexually available in the game, that rather than on the merits of its own story, which usually comes second.
And all 18.
They're all over
and they're
18.
18?
Yeah.
They're all over 18?
Yeah, they're all
Okay,
over
good.
18.
Otherwise, I have to hang up this phone call right the fuck
I know.
now.
Don't
Absolutely. You would be right to do so.
So another question I have. My girlfriend is always, and by the way, I'm going to talk about her a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
listeners. So,
The shadow of Sarancha looms tall over this episode.
yeah, she's a podcaster. Her name's Sarancha. So, like, listeners, like, if you're trying to maintain the illusion that, like, I'm single, sorry, I'm taken, ladies and men and bull men. But here's my question. People are always like, "Oh, I can't believe there's only one season of Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto?" Or, "Oh, I can't believe there's only one season of Watamote." Oh, It's like, why don't they just put in one fuck character that you can jerk it to and buy their little toy and jerk it to, but then just keep the rest of the show like a good show?
I don't know. That's a good business model.
That's what I would do, because it's like, haven't you heard I'm Sakamoto? I started watching that show. I love it. It's like one of the best television shows I've ever seen.
The sight gag in the first episode where they're doing like a black mass around a fire and the gym teacher opens it up is so fucking funny.
It's just so, and it's so simple. It's so great. I love that show so much. Just put a lady in it. Just have a lady named like Kara, and she's hot, and she's always running around in a bikini, and she wants Sakamoto, and Sakamoto don't want her. There, boom, 8 seasons.
Let me pitch for a 1 episode pornographic OVA of Sakamoto. Introduced in 1 episode a best friend character, and this is your audience insert. It's not Sekimoto isn't having sex. He doesn't need to have sex. He's beyond sex.
That's right.
But his friend, who's just down on his luck, needs the ultimate wingman, which is Sakamoto.
I like this. And then there's 4 girls that like that friend. And then maybe we just get rid of this Sakamoto character. It seems like he's kind of dead weight. So there's 4 girls, one with various cup sizes and various hairstyles.
Right.
And they all want to fuck this like self-insert. And so he has like the personality of like pudding. Like he has the personality of like paste. So like I can insert myself.
And then we could set it at like a hot spring and call it Love Hina or something.
I love this.
Well, actually, you've almost described Fate Stay Night.
Oh, what? Really? What? Okay. Hey.
Close. So
wait.
Yeah.
You get 1,000 segue points for that.
Yes.
That's the greatest segue. You guys are good. All right. Talk to me about Fate Stay Night.
So it's interesting that, I guess it's good that you know a little bit about visual novels and dating sims, because Fate Stay Night isn't exactly like a typical dating sim where the dating element is very gamified. You have to, go to this event and do this thing to get with this girl. Instead, it's much, much closer to reading an actual novel rather than playing it visually.
Really? I got to do all that reading? Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. The first sex scene happens roughly 13 hours into the game, which equates to 13 days in-game.
Oh!
Right.
I mean, it's really interesting because you're playing the game, and the way that it's set up is that they never recorded voice lines for the porn because the voice lines are in the PSP release, right? So when you put it all together, you know that a porn scene is coming because they stopped speaking dialogue.
The game was originally released on PC with the pornographic scenes, and then it's been released on every other thing imaginable without those scenes included. It's become a legitimate novel game.
Okay.
But I say legitimate novel because in total, Fate's Stay Night is 820,595 words long.
These words must be fucking great for kids to care about this bullshit that much.
Well, yeah. For comparison, that's longer than The Stand by Stephen King. That's longer than Infinite Jest, Atlas Shrugged. It is longer than most English translations of the Bible.
I'll be God.
Which rank in at around 750,000 words, almost every single edition.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Who's the main character? Like, let's start small. Who's the main character of this thing? Is it a dude or a lady?
It's a dude.
It's a dude.
Okay. Now, is this dude, like, again, is he some sort of, like, mush-mouthed, nobody self-insert bullshit?
Basically.
Okay, that's fine. He
gets more character as he go along, but right at the start, he is Johnny Q shonen protagonist.
Got it.
That's actually kind of a, I don't know, hot topic in Fate. There was a prequel with a very interesting and well-done cast, and ironically, once people got to the source material, they often end up being disappointed by the main character, or at least how he seems at first. But these people are also filthy secondaries. Don't deserve to play Fate.
Okay, I've never heard the term filthy secondary before. Define it. Define it for a boomer.
Computer, define filthy secondary.
Help me.
A secondary, as far as Fate goes, is anybody that has only watched an anime adaptation of Fate and has not played the original visual novel.
Okay. Interesting.
And that's a term that I don't think it's exactly exclusive to Fate. I think it just gets thrown around the 4chan-y anime like culture a little bit.
So, all right, so it's evolved. So if someone was being like a wiener, I could be like, you fucking secondary. You told me that this coupon would be good until Friday. And now here I am with my dick in my hand trying to pay for this graphics card at full price.
This sounds like a secondary that you know, huh?
Yeah, well, I just get upset when I get it because they're like, oh, we'll honor any deal on Amazon. And then I'm like, well, then they're like, oh, well, that's not being sold by Amazon directly. That's being sold by a third-party seller on Amazon. How about you kiss my third-party nuts? How about you honor this coupon so I can mine crypto?
How's that going?
Well, I mean, look, I'll be honest. I made all of that up. I've never mined crypto in my life. It seems like a real waste of It seems like really environmentally sus.
Well, anyways, so main character's name is Emiya Shiro.
Okay.
All right. Red hair, normal high school student, except that his dad is like a super wizard. Right.
Okay.
He died 10 years ago.
Okay.
Like before the plot starts. And so he aspires to be like his dad and be a really cool super wizard.
Okay, so is there like a lot of magic in this bullshit, or just a little bit of magic?
Oh, there's a lot of magic in this bullshit.
There's a lot of magic.
And there's a lot of bullshit magic in that.
Yes. They come up with all these rules and then break them all the time, constantly. Not because of like narrative problems, but like what they do is they introduce a rule and then they have a character who's a super badass break the rule because they're so badass they don't have to go by the rule.
They've established how magic works and how you can basically in Fate's Stay Night, magic has weird science fiction elements in it that don't quite make sense, but everybody has a magic circuit in their body that they can exhaust and run out of energy. And right now I can I can feel
okay, so everybody has like a set amount of mana.
Yeah.
And it runs on a circuit?
Yeah, it's a magic circuit.
A magic circuit.
Like
a ley line?
In your body.
Like a ley line?
I mean, yeah, it's literally represented with lines, but it's in your body.
So there's
also ley lines in the ground.
Right.
So there's ley lines in your body. There's ley lines in the ground. Got it.
Yes.
And
who's got the most ley lines?
Probably Shiro at the end.
Okay.
By the end, Shiro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he He's dumb.
Uh-huh.
He's just a fucking moron.
Okay.
Especially, important structure thing. The game is divided into 3 sections. They're called routes, and each route is like, there's a branching point. It's like, if you do this at the start, you get this route. If you do this at the start, you get this route. And they all have different plots.
But the important to note is that there is a enforced order to them. So it's not like, oh, I really like how this character looks, I'm going to read her novel. It's instead, read these 3 novels back to back to back. They all have the same first chapter.
Okay.
So anyways, in the first, Shiro accidentally summons a servant. Now, servants in this game, they're 7 historical figures, which are drawn and put into D&D classes, essentially.
Wait a minute. I think I've heard of this. Like George Washington is in this bullshit, right?
Not in this one, but in a different one, yes.
And Hitler's in this bullshit, right?
I don't think Hitler's in this.
So,
all right. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
The one piece of media aimed at young boys that doesn't have Hitler in it. Okay. I'll tell you what. This is one of the best things I've ever heard. This is great.
Yep. Strong start.
All these fucking edgelords, the moment they can canonically put Hitler into a thing. Like, is it because Hitler's in, like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, right?
Technically, by virtue...
Yeah! Technically, that means yes.
By virtue of there being an arc that takes place in World War II, yes.
Yup. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's all these fucking little edgelords always find a way to put Hitler in a thing. Yup. Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, do we want to break down the 7 classes?
Yeah.
Real quick?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yep.
So we start off with Saber. Can you guess what sabers use as their primary weapon? Swords.
Magic swords? Magic swords?
Really, just
they
swords.
Can pull out of their assholes?
Oh, yeah. They do that all the time.
Just regular ass sword? Okay, so not like some sort of, not like a soul-bound blade that appears when I'm in trouble.
Sometimes. The thing is, the more famous the historical figure, the more powerful the servant. So a real super cool servant is gonna have like magic swords and like, whatever the fuck.
But you can also summon different historical figures as different classes. So somebody, Robin Hood, would be really good as the archer class because he's famous for archery, but he would suck as a saber class, even though he probably has a knife and can be associated with blades in some way and probably summoned like that.
No, I get it. Look, do I want a sword fight with Robin Hood? No. Do I want an archer's duel with Robin Hood? Double no. So I get it.
Right.
I get it.
So the way that the visual novel puts it, and it just becomes increasingly funnier later on, for the archer class, which is our next class, they use bows, right? Mm-hmm. Actually, the archer class is just whoever has the best bows or arrows at their disposal. As in the original Fate Stay Night, neither of the archers that appear actually have any strong association with bows and arrows.
See, that's
okay, so if I have a cool bow and Robin Hood has a shitty bow, I beat Robin Hood every time?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about when they say introduce rules and then they immediately break it. So they introduce the archer class and he mainly uses swords.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Well, now, okay. Okay. All right.
That's what I'm talking about when I say, like, introduce rules, just forget them. But now you later learn that Archer can shoot swords.
Out of his bow?
He can make a bow.
He can make a bow out of swords.
Yeah.
What does he use as the string? Swords?
Magic.
More swords. Little tiny swords.
Tiny, string-like swords.
Yeah.
I get the sense that you guys are telling the truth, unfortunately.
We're exaggerating here and there, but it's more or less the truth.
This sounds like something you saw. This sounds like something you saw. Yes. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That brings us to the Lancer class. The Lancer class is probably the most boring because it's actually people with lances and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have range?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually Lancers, their thing is that they have range.
Yeah. Most Lancers can throw their lances, like throw them like spears.
Okay.
They also, the thing is, this class comes with a E rank in luck. There are stat sheets. Every class has a stat sheet. It's literally D&D.
In a visual novel?
In a visual novel. You can access them. There's like a button that shows you stats. It's just for fun mostly, but like even morality, like the chaotic evil, lawful neutral, they use all that.
I thought the point of a visual novel was just to like fuck characters and have a good time. This sounds like a complicated strategy game.
You have no idea how complicated this is. It's not a strategy game. All the complication is in the story. And critics might say convoluted is a better word, but it's something special.
So far, this is way more interesting than I thought it would be. So please keep talking.
Oh, that's good. So yeah, Lancer is the professional jobbers. They're like they come to WrestleMania, but they lose to the cooler people around. But they're still at WrestleMania, right?
Who's the most famous? Is Sir Lancelot the most famous Lancer?
No, Lancelot isn't even a Lancer.
No.
Is Lancelot a sword, asshole?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Aaron, pronounce what's the fucking Lancer's real name?
Oh, Cuchulainn.
Yeah. That's like an Irish folk hero.
Folk hero.
Yeah.
He is like, he's cool. He's got a dimple, if I remember. Like one of his magic powers is he has a dimple that makes him irresistible to women.
I mean, he already is.
It's right.
Yeah.
But so his shtick is Lancers are good at like reconnaissance, basically. They're
scouts.
They're good at. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the characters that carry around like a huge, heavy pole arm that reduces movement are your advanced scouts.
Yeah.
And the people with like quick ranged attack weapons like bows and arrows are not scouts.
Nor
people with swords are archers.
People with swords are archers. Yeah.
Okay. No. Look. All right.
Rider class.
Oh yeah.
Rider. So like cavalry.
Yeah.
Okay. Rider class. Got it.
That
cavalry.
could also be riding anything. There in the franchise, there's at least a couple examples of being a rider because you're known for having a chariot, or because you're known for riding on boats, on ships. So it's all encompassing riding. Okay. I guess one more thing to mention about this.
Vehicle usage.
Yeah, exactly. That's the skill. At one point, because one character uses their riding skill to drive a car without needing to be explained how to drive a car because they never saw one in their own time. That's a weird background lore thing that gets brought up, and just so that the heroic spirits don't have like immense culture shock. They're like given the innate lowdown on what culture and things are as soon as they're summoned.
So what year does it? So this takes place in the current year?
It took place in then current year. Of like
1997 or something?
Like 2000 something.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
Wait, is Barack Obama in this game?
No.
No.
Who's the most recent president in the game?
George Bush, I think. And then
George W.
George Bush is not.
Yeah.
George W. But he's like referenced.
Yeah.
You can't like summon him to invade a country.
No, you can't.
Okay.
There's
He'll do it.
they make up. One of those rules that's immediately broken, but like you don't know that it was immediately broken, that you can't summon anyone past the age of like firearms.
What?
Yeah, it's but they break it. Like
they break it a lot.
They came up with a ton of excuses for why it's the case. It's just so you can have like older school guys. That's all.
Okay.
All of the ones where you say like Fate Stay Night, is he in this? And then you find out that he is. That character is in a game called Fate Grand Order,
that's the one I know.
That's the gacha game.
That is
the card game.
Yeah, that's where all the really absurd ones are. Like, God, we'll get there.
Okay, that's
we'll
cool.
absolutely get there. But let's go to our next class, caster. Now, caster's obviously magic, right? Mage. But you might be thinking, if we're summoning real life historical figures, who are we summoning that can use magic?
I was wondering that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Merlin.
No, none of that. It's nerds.
Wait, Houdini?
I wish.
I think he's past the cutoff, but that would be cool.
Okay.
It's the nerd class. If you're known for something in English language arts, you get summoned as a caster.
Okay, so wait. So Shakespeare.
Yes, he's a caster.
Yep.
That's fine. All right, he's a bard. Bardic magic.
Right.
The true magic is in the written word. Stories are the real blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm fine. I'm so far I'm fine with everything you're saying.
Great. So next is assassin. Now this is kind of interesting.
We're gonna get into tricky territory with this.
Yes, this is where it starts getting a little weird. All right, so in 2 of the 3 routes of Fate's Day Night, assassin is summoned by caster. A servant becomes the master of a different servant.
Okay.
So this means that she ends up summoning a fictional character. Within the terms of the game, they refer to him as a fictional character, despite the fact that almost all of the servants summoned in the original Fate's Day Night are fictional characters or some sort of mythological, non-historical thing.
It's very weird the way that they logic it out. So, like, Hercules, he's cool. He can be in. He was real.
I do like Herc.
Yeah, Kojiro Sasaki, a samurai from like the 18th century, presumably. Not real. He was fictional. Some guy made him up.
Yeah.
He can't actually exist. It's
But-
just a weird writing quirk of
But
the
Robin Hood. I mean, I don't know. People say there was a real Robin Hood.
Yeah. Well, most mythological characters are based on something. Like
Yeah, exactly. Like I bet there was a dude named Hercules who was like pretty tough. I don't know that he was half god and born out of someone's forehead or some bull or came out of an egg or whatever the hell happened with all those god or someone pretended to be a bull to have sex with a lady who lives on Mars. All right. So there's a thing where a caster can summon an assassin.
Right.
So
Now-
there's like a little magic bureaucracy.
Yeah, it's,
Like I'm
it's
in
a
charge
loophole.
of you, you're in charge of him.
Holy shit. There is such a magic bureaucracy. You don't
Okay.
even know.
All right.
But here's the thing. That's not how it's supposed to work. You're like that is a situation which you learn later is like, oh, it went wrong. The way
Okay.
it's supposed to work when you summon assassin is everyone who summons assassin summons the same person, and that person is the original assassin from like the mountain, the old man of the mountain, Hassan Isaba. He was in the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, I don't, but I get it.
Right.
So there was like what? There was like a I don't know, some sort of biblical assassin. Okay, that's fine. Sure.
Something
whatever.
like that.
He's supposed to be the only one that you can ever summon as assassin because apparently he was just that good. This rule also gets thrown out the window pretty much after Fate's Day Night.
Look, and I can tell you why it got thrown out the window if you'll indulge me.
Sure.
Yes.
Because they wanted to draw sexy lady assassins. Am I right?
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
But-
already getting the idea.
You probably wouldn't call them sexy. I just
Well,
have a
then
hunch.
why?
We'll get to the reason why later.
Okay.
Okay,
Alright,
last
alright.
class. I think the last class.
Yeah, it's
right?
the last one.
Berserker.
Berserker.
Yes. So Berserker is a class that any hero who was ever like lost to anger and killed a bunch of people gets summoned as a Berserker.
Is that
Okay.
So
true?
you summon. Yes.
I thought you could just summon anybody as a Berserker.
No, they have to have lost their shit
Okay.
at some point in their life. So Hercules in the first game is summoned as a Berserker.
Okay.
He is but the way the magic works when you summon Berserker basically is you summon someone and then you use special additional magic to make them hopelessly insane.
Okay.
then you just like walk them
You
around.
piss them off, and then the madder they get, the stronger they get.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's fine.
So
Berserker rules.
Lancelot is a berserker when he's summoned in Fate Zero.
Was Lancelot was known for going zerk?
Yeah.
Tell me about Lancelot zerking out. I don't know about
In
this.
the story of King Arthur.
Tell me shit.
When he saves Guinevere being burnt at the stake, he flips his shit and kills like half of the Knights of the Round Table. He kills his buddies. He flips out and kills his buddies.
Okay, so he runs into like a thing, and he's seeing Guinevere being burned at the stake, and so he's just like, I'm gonna kill everything. Does he kill Guinevere too in his rage?
No. He saves Gwen, and they get out of there, and they do not live happily because Guinevere's like, holy shit, you killed all of Arthur's friends. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry.
It was a D&D campaign gone horribly wrong.
Yeah,
sounds like it.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So Lancelot has a really cool power. This is entirely incidental. Any weapon which he picks up turns the same color as him, and he takes control of. At one point, he jumps on top of a jet fighter and takes control of it and like rides it around the sky. Shoots beams out of it.
It's cool.
Fucking awesome.
That sounds pretty. What you guys are telling me sounds like a good game that I like. Just everything I've seen about this game just looks, I don't know, like kind of mid, kind of everything I've seen about this game does not seem particularly different or outstanding. But like,
you are seeing the Grand Order stuff.
Yeah, because I'm seeing all that stuff because it's what happens when you Google my name.
Right.
You're seeing what the franchise would become, and we're starting you with where it was at, more or less.
Right. Now, we haven't actually explained the plot at all.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's like
whatever. I don't know. There's a bunch of gems, and we gotta hope these gems don't fall into the wrong hands.
No. Is there
a book everyone wants?
Is
there a crystal?
Everybody has to fight, and when everyone's dead except for one, the winner gets a wish granted
by the Holy Grail.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Dragon Ball rules. That's fine. And
the thing is, each story, there's like some malefactor in the story that's trying to break the rules and take it all for himself. It's a different character each time, but like it means that every route has a different kind of tone.
Wait, you said Lancelot was the one that went nuts? Lancelot?
Yeah.
Okay. So is Lancelot's wish to bring all his friends that he murdered back?
Yeah, often you don't really even get to know what they're, except for in very specific cases, they don't really focus on what's anybody's wish or anything like that.
They don't focus on your hero's motivations and goals.
Well, not for the servants.
And their servants wish.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the servants.
Oh, okay. I get it. Kind of like how the genie wanted to be free, but Aladdin wanted to be a prince, and it's like, well, we're doing my thing first.
Right.
There's also a certain degree of notability that comes with participating in this contest, to the point where even if you survive and you didn't do that great, you're still acknowledged as like, oh, that wizard participated in the Great Wizard War. Holy shit. Like, there's benefits other than getting your wish granted that would still appeal to somebody to
if
like
you
participate.
Survive. If Robin Hood doesn't put an arrow through your forehead.
The biggest strategy is kill the master, because they're like a puny wizard and not like a super powerful hero.
Oh my God. So it's like, okay, now this is how you should have pitched it to me. And I'm sorry to make you guys look like real chumps on your podcast. But this is how you should have pitched it to me. It's like BattleBots, but with magic. And you could send one of your magic brobots against the guy with the remote control. So it's like Pokemon, but where you could kill the other trainer, which is what I would do. I would have Charizard just flambe Gary. Just, well, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time attacking the other Pokemon? The other Pokemon is innocent of all crimes. Just a harmless Venonat or whatever. Gary's the asshole. True or false, kids?
No, that's 100% correct. And
Yeah,
Pokemon would be a better game if it included that as a gameplay.
Yes, it would. All right. Glad we agree.
There are complications here. There's a ton of anime adaptations of this first game, right?
Okay.
The first one was terrible, but eventually they got good.
The very first one has horrible animation and just is kind of a train wreck of a show. And then later on, company Ufotable adapted everything starting with a prequel novel series. And this is what actually got most people into the franchise. Me and Aaron excluded from that because we were hipsters and we were into this before it was cool.
That is to say that we were complete losers in high school and we had nothing else to do.
Right. Other than read 3 anime books back to back.
I mean, look, clearly you guys got a lot out of these books. You're still talking about them today and with like a certain amount of reverence. Like, clearly you like this stuff.
Very much.
That's cool. It's good to like things. Life is hard.
Let me just say that if from this episode you decide to check it out, I would probably do what everybody else did and watch Fate Zero.
Yeah.
Okay, Fate. Now, what makes Fate Zero the thing? Like, what makes it the one?
All of the cast is adults. Almost entirely. The cast is made up of adults.
Well, I like what I'm hearing so far. All right.
So whereas like the original Fate Stay Night, because it was a visual novel and it was the style at the time to set it in a high school, and it still is the style at the time. It comes with some bullshit. It comes with some high school bullshit that really isn't a big part once you get into the actual meat of the story. But on the surface, it can be kind of eye-rolling and kind of like, oh, why are we wasting our time with this? Fate Zero cuts all that out, and you get to the meat and potatoes right away. And
summoning things and having them fight in a tournament.
Exactly.
That's right.
Question. Who runs this tournament? Is it like a king of some kind? Like a wish king?
It's the Catholic Church.
This is getting better and better. I'm hearing very little I don't like. So the Pope controls a wish, huh?
Yes.
Is it kept in a scroll or an orb? Or like, does he have to bring a crucifix over his knee?
It's kept in the Holy Grail.
You got to drink out of that shit, then you get a wish?
Oh, you better not.
Yeah, you don't drink from the Grail.
I'm listening.
It's not a good idea.
Due to complications in other Holy Grail wars, the Grail that is in Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night is corrupted. And that means that even if you do get your wish... Well, actually, it wouldn't grant a wish, right? Like, it's just bad.
Not really.
Yeah.
No. Unless your wish is, I want to destroy the world. Your wish will not actually be granted. But nobody knows this.
So they're still fighting over it.
Somebody made a really bad wish in the third Holy Grail War of 5. Yes. And it just destroyed the Holy Grail forever.
Right.
Oh, no! We needed that thing!
Nobody knows that it's like filled. It is a vessel for all evils in the world.
So what happens at the end of Zero is that 2 characters get Grail water spilled on them, and they become more or less zombies. Not like in the sense of, ooh, I'm gonna eat your brains, but like they have some degree of undeadness of just being flat out evil now. I mean, I guess they were before, but so not much
changed.
They were both
still evil.
How do they get Grail water spilled on them? This sounds like a big Butterfingers moment.
So somebody figures out, somebody summons the Grail, and then they figure out, oh, the Grail is evil. Holy shit. And he forces his servant, who doesn't want to do this, to destroy the Grail, which drips out all of the stuff that was inside of it and douses both of these characters. It also sets an entire section of the city on fire. And kills thousands of people.
And among the thousands of people dead, there is at least one survivor, which is the protagonist of Fate Stay Night, Emiya Shiro, who was saved by his father at the end of Fate Zero. I just wanted to get back to when we called him kind of that bland self-insert main character. That's him at the beginning of Fate.
He grows and changes. Well,
not only does he grow and change, but you learn this backstory, and then you actually do have a very well-developed character that has survivor's guilt at certain points later on, he goes through what I can only describe as dementia. Like, he does become a fully fleshed out character that touches on things that other visual novels or anime don't really go into.
Look, I'll be honest. It sounds like it sounds like this guy begins to suffer from PTSD.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's very okay. Well, that's pretty interesting for a visual novel.
It's not even interpretation. That's just literal text.
Yeah.
All of this in the visual novel is this character's internal monologue, which is quite natural for a visual novel, but cannot translate to an anime. And so people that watch the anime usually think Emiya is a really bad character. And that's because you just don't really get to understand his perspective on stuff.
Asterios, have you ever read The Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah, the Frank Miller book.
Did you watch the animated versions of that?
I did not.
So they adapted it word for word except for the internal narration, which means that it doesn't quite come across the same way when, like, Batman's shooting rubber bullets at people, but he's not thinking, these are rubber bullets, they'll be fine. And you don't get that as an audience.
When he says they're rubber bullets, honest. I mean, isn't that just Frank Miller's way of getting away with having Batman shoot a bunch of people?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. Look, as long as we're all on the same page.
Yes. But yeah, no, so that's one of the issues with the anime adaptation. For us who have read the visual novel, it's fine because we know what's going on, and so we could just enjoy the bits that do get translated coming to life.
And as somebody that has read it, then you're just watching the anime for for the static images that you've only seen move in your mind to be animated in front of you. That's what it's really there for.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
This is where the franchise gets a little messy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
By a little messy, I mean a complete fucking clusterfuck.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So
far, this seems pretty simple. A bunch of people want to wish, and they can summon magical historical figures, and there's big fights at a tournament. It's like, there's been a lot of tournament animes, and there's been a lot of, I mean, Dragon Ball is literally a tournament anime where people want a wish. Yep. So it's like, it seems like we're treading on established ground here. How does everything get all fucky-wucky?
Spin-offs.
Many spin-offs. There's one direct sequel that I guess you could still count as a spin-off, given that it's kind of a weird time loop that the characters are trapped in. That's Fate Hollow Ataraxia. And was only I say recently translated, but I guess it's been a few years now. People are waiting for it forever. That's not going to be animated anytime soon because it's going to be hard to do a story that's a time loop that's meant for you just to hang around and like do daily life stuff with these characters.
Right. It's a lot of fan service towards the purpose of, you like these characters, you kind of miss them because they're all dead by the end of the visual novel. Well, they're all alive and in this town, and that's a mystery that you have to solve. But in the meantime, you get to like go shopping with Castor or like clean Lancer's he doesn't have a house. He has
fishing equipment.
Fishes. Yeah, like go fishing with Lancer.
Yeah.
A slice of life game that's heavy on character development, slow play, and sort of like hanging out with your digital friends.
Yeah. Okay. But there's like this kind of weird, disturbing undertone. Now, I say disturbing, not like super disturbing, but it's like something's not quite right. And
how did all these characters come back to life, and why are they all living in the same town? That's fine. That's a cool mystery.
Yes, it's great.
It's the only David Lynch directed Fate Stay Night adaptation.
Yeah.
So this sounds good, what you're saying to me.
We are still in the good zone.
Yeah. This is good,
Get
but
to the bad stuff.
This is good, but
unadaptable. Something stupid. Because it's like you guys keep being like, oh, this is good, but the series as a whole is weird, man. And it's like, so far, everything you're telling me is like kind of banal.
All right.
It's like, give me something stupid.
I got one for you. So the Holy Grail War. That's a tournament, like you said, well-tread ground. You can do a lot with this premise. But could you do this premise in a computer simulation? And can you do this premise on the moon in a computer simulation?
Now you've got my attention.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the ultimate premise of Fate Extra, which doesn't let on... it lets on that it's a simulation. It doesn't let on the moon part until much later, I think. I don't know. It's been a while. Fate Extra is terrible. A lot of the character elements are kind of stripped away, but it's a dungeon crawling RPG. So, like, hey, you can go use all those RPG mechanics that were in the original visual novel, right?
Is it one of these things where it's like it was only available on a very specific Nokia mobile phone?
No, it was a PSP and it got translated.
Wow.
Here,
Okay.
you want to know the catch, though.
Yes.
How much do you like rock, paper, scissors?
Oh, well, a lot of video games have rock, paper, scissors. What are
No,
you gonna
rock,
do?
paper, scissors.
What, you mean literally rock, paper, scissors?
I mean, you get the choice between attack, guard, or break. And then you have to set out your moves ahead of time. This is basic combat, so you do this a ton of times in a row.
Oh, does this get boring?
Yeah, it does. Almost instantly.
That sucks.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
have to be like, okay, I want to do papers, rock, scissors, paper. And then the enemy will throw rock, scissors, paper, paper. And whatever lines up and wins determines the amount of hit points you've knocked off of them.
I mean, a lot of video games operate on like a rock, paper, scissors mechanic where it's like Lancer beats cavalry, cavalry beats ranged, melee beats cav. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, why is it particularly boring in this case, do you think?
Oh, well, what you're describing is kind of closer to what Fate Grand Order does, where each class is effective against each other. I'm talking about, like, you are selecting these moves. When you have one player character, and then you are selecting, I'm going to throw paper, and then I hope that the computer doesn't throw scissors. Computer throws scissors, and you're like, oh, great. I guess that attack didn't go through then.
All right, so it sounds like it's not very complex.
It's not. Yeah, it's just rock, paper, scissors.
Can I fuck anything in the game?
No, by this time, Fate had gone completely PG.
So I can't fuck anything in the game, and it's boring and uninteresting.
Yeah, and even the story really isn't that good, but it does introduce, I guess, servants that have good designs or good concepts for servants. That's the best I can give it.
Okay. Why is it on the moon? Who did this? Is it aliens? Is it Catholic aliens?
No, it's a organization. In the Fate Extra universe, magic doesn't really work anymore. So they have this plan. It's like the blue area of the moon. They have a special area that's been cordoned off for this because it's just easier than doing it on Earth.
Well, because of all that Earth destruction that happened when they spilled that cup.
Maybe. I don't know.
So they don't explicitly say.
No.
Okay.
It's so the idea is if we create a computer simulation of the same process that makes the Holy Grail, maybe we can summon it and wish for magic to be real again.
I mean, look, that sounds like it's just crazy enough to work, maybe.
Right. Not a bad
okay.
thing.
Yeah, all right. Maybe the magic doesn't know it's It's like, what is a magic spell really but a sort of a computer virus in reality's code? Am I right?
Agreed.
I guess in real life, sure.
I'm flying. Or has somebody like put a virus into gravity?
Yeah. That's surprisingly to occultism, but yes.
Like did I cast an invisibility spell or did I turn off the local reflective photons that like affect the rods and cones of your eye? Is it sick? Because as Arthur C. Clarke said, these games are great and I love jerking it to these waifus.
That is what he said. That was written at the end of Childhood's End, right? Like,
indeed it was, my friend.
Oh yeah. Next we have a anime called Prisma Ilia.
Manga.
Ilia.
A franchise. It's a franchise of itself, essentially.
Okay.
There's a character in Fate Stay Night named Ilia. Ilia is essentially the main character's little sister.
No. I mean, let's. We've already spoiled enough here. That's his older sister.
All right.
She's over 18.
Prisma Ilia. Prisma. Okay, Prisma Ilia. Got it.
I'll bring up a picture just so that you can know what's wrong with this.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't. I can only talk. I can't see my I can't see the screen right now. So please describe this character. Describe this character to me in legal terms, like in a nice legal way.
Oh,
because I'm guessing this is a 12-year-old vampire, right?
Oh no, don't worry. She's older than the rest of the main cast, despite looking like a 12-year-old.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it until that last thing you said.
12 is a bit generous, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. It's she's a magical girl in this, like like a Sailor Moon, but like a younger Sailor Moon, but still maybe just as sexualized, if not more so.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, what are you gonna do?
That's pretty much it. There's not much more to this show. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna get a bunch of angry Prisma Ilia fans coming at me, but there's not much more to this show other than taking familiar characters and locations and putting a magical girl pedophile twist onto it.
I don't like what I'm hearing, guys. I'm gonna be straight with you.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, it's terrible.
We're in the bad zone. We're in the bad zone. This is not a good place to be.
All right, but now, as difficult as this is to say, let's ignore our protagonist for a second.
Okay.
Is the game itself in any way interesting or redeeming?
Oh, it's an anime. It's an anime and a manga, so it's a story.
Oh, okay.
An anime, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's it. The story is just baiting these characters into suggestive positions and camera angles.
Oh, it's like that.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like straight up a pornographic. It's like a pornographic game. It's designed for pornography for pornographic purposes,
without actually being porn. Sure.
Right. It's like it's a lewd, purient game that's designed for titillation. It's like a lad's game.
Yeah.
Maxim magazine, but a game and with issues with age issues. Okay.
Yeah, with age issues.
Okay.
I read it for the plot.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think either of us have actually read this beyond maybe watching the first episode out of morbid curiosity.
Beyond the sequel to Fate Stay Night, I have consumed none of what we are discussing except in a manner of morbid fascination to see what has become of this franchise that I loved.
There's a couple other anime that I could go into, like, oh, it's so bad, but ultimately it would be like they're just average anime series.
Yep.
What is the most recent Fate Stay Night thing?
The biggest that we've been talking about and alluding to multiple times is Grand Order, which at this point is basically what Fate is now, is a gacha game of waifus.
Okay.
This is where pretty much all the designs that have you going, oh, they turned this character into a waifu happen. The plot is about dimension hopping, and I hear it gets good, but it's also a gacha game, so I don't believe it.
You can really the joke, I guess, in Fate Grand Order is that there's so many historical figures that have been added to Grand Order, and they are all 17-year-old girls.
What?
Doesn't matter who they are.
You never told me this. Wait, so there's like a 17-year-old girl, Abraham Lincoln?
Yes.
Why didn't we start here?
I don't think there's literally an Abraham Lincoln girl, though. Let me pitch a anime that I haven't seen in its entirety, but this sounds like it's entirely your thing.
Okay.
So the last route of Fate Stay Night is fantastic. It's a 10 out of 10. Shut up, Aaron. Don't say it.
Shut up, Aaron. Shut your mouth.
Certain people have problems with it because there's a focus overwhelmingly on cooking.
What? But I like Food Wars.
Exactly. I do too. Some people
Is that
just
why this game come out after Food Wars?
uh
Or show or whatever the hell you're talking about?
Actually, this show did come out after Food Wars, and it has a game that's coming out. It isn't out yet, but it's coming out for the Nintendo Switch. It's called Today's Menu for the Emiya Family, and it's about the main character of Fate Stay Night cooking and preparing meals for the rest of the cast, and that's the entire show. And the entire manga that's based off of, and presumably the game.
So you kind of get to have fun dinner parties with all your dead friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look, boys, this is what I would do. Because this is getting complicated now that it's like, all these characters you like died, but they're in a town and it's magic. Oh, but they're all at this cooking party. They didn't die. They got transported to Dimension Y.
Yeah. I mean,
and then we found a crystal that gets them all back. All your favorites are alive again. You don't got to worry. Nobody actually died in that first tournament. The Pope was lying or something, right?
Yeah.
Pope he's like a complete dick, and he's the villain of 2 of the arcs.
Yeah, the Pope sounds like an asshole, I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
He's really like lording this wish over people. He's like, oh, you want a wish, huh? You got to fight for it. That's not nice. Just give the nice people a wish.
Also, he knows that the wish won't work.
Right? Oh, even worse.
Yep.
Can't say I like this Pope.
He's just a complete dick.
This sounds like the worst thing a leader of the Catholic Church has ever done.
Maybe even ever, yeah.
Maybe even ever. Wow.
So there are 3 movies, which are adaptations of the last novel of the first game.
And
it's called Heaven Feel.
The last one just came out last year, at the end of last year, in English at least.
They are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're some of the best anime adaptations of this franchise that have come out. I would say some of the best anime movies to come out in recent years, but I'm also horribly biased for this.
Yeah.
When we were watching these, it was kind of like a return back to simpler stuff and not a bunch of 17-year-olds in dimension hopping gacha games or moon simulations going on.
Look, you guys could shit talk these gacha games all you want. You can shit talk them 6 ways till Sunday. People spend a lot of money.
They do.
To unlock ultra rare cards of, I don't know, a teenage girl JFK.
Oh,
People
yeah.
spend a lot of money on this stuff, guys.
So do you know what part of that is?
Addiction?
Addiction, yeah. But horrible addiction. The way that they get you is once you get your servant character in that game, you can upgrade them, right?
Yeah, you got to power them up.
Yeah. And guess what happens
with other different crystals.
Guess what happens to them as they get more powered up?
I can guess, and I'm sure I'll be right.
Sure.
Their clothes start to come off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Or if they're a guy, their clothes start to come on, but they're cooler clothing. They're like awesome, cool clothing.
Sometimes they get like assless chaps.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, there's some male porn in this.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of based. All right.
Yeah.
It's red-pilled.
Sounds kind of based and red-pilled. Just saying.
If it's the kind of game that you like, it's the game for you, and it's probably the best version of the game for you because it makes infinite money.
I played the Star Trek one for too long. I played there's a thing, it's like Star Trek timelines, and it's like, oh, you've got Odo, but do you have Umpire Odo from the season 8 episode where they all played a baseball game on the holodeck?
Oh my god.
Because if you want Umpire Odo, you're gonna have to pay through the ass. He's ultra rare. Yes. Or he's like a 5 dilithium character, or like a admiral. I forget, they had like rankings. He's like a 5-star character.
But then if you get Odo, you need to get Quark. So
yes, so they can fight.
Then they keep having to get another character, and then when does it end? It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It does. And the thing I liked about the Star Trek gotcha game was it actually had like really good writing and plots. Like it was very clearly written by people who loved Star Trek. So they would take really good like beloved episodes of Star Trek and then just expand on them. Like there's an episode of Deep Space Nine where they'll go back to Roswell and it's like, well, that was the aliens were actually Quark and his brother.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
Nog.
and yeah, and so they'll do a thing where they're like, well, now the scientists that that found you in the 50s, they've somehow appeared in the future. And now you have to like stop them from learning stuff. And, or they'll do a thing where it's like, hey, remember that hologram that Commander Riker fell in love with? Well, she's shown up on Ryza all of a sudden. And it's like, why is she there? Is she real now? What's going on? There's like an interstellar nexus type thing. And it mashes up like every Star Trek series and then also every alternate dimension. So like you could get evil Spock. You could get like classic goateed Spock, who at this point has become Emperor of the Terran Legion. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That's
them all.
That's Spock Alter.
Yeah. You gotta stay up till 5 a.m. waiting for your delivery to refill. So you can open more packs. I want to play so bad.
Yeah, I hope that we're not causing a relapse here.
Of course you are. It's addiction.
Just play Fate Grand Order instead.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
All right, kids. Show me this slideshow. I'm at my computer. I'm looking at the
right.
thing.
All right. Let me get that set up there. And... all right. Let me know if you can see it.
Okay. Oh, watch stream.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's play.
All right. All right. So I've included the a picture of the character and the class. You just have to guess who they are.
Okay. Okay. I'm almost positive this is Joan of Arc.
Oh.
How close am I?
Joan of... you're close because
Diagonal.
in Fate, Joan of Arc basically just looks like this character.
They all look like this character.
Yeah, because they all look like this character.
All right, listeners, what I'm seeing is a blonde-haired young maiden. She's wearing some sort of like big flowy dress, but she has gauntlets like metal fighting mitts. She's wearing cool boots. And she's a famous sword. She's a Saber class. Is this Maid Marian?
It's King Arthur.
Oh, right, they're girl
Right,
boys.
exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
What is there a proper term like cross play or what? How would we? Or gender swapped? They're like
gender swapped,
So,
I guess. Yeah.
In the story, they put forward that King Arthur was always a girl, but because King Arthur was so young, she looked like kind of androgynous, and so she like bound her chest and pretended to be a young boy.
It could happen. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. Peter Pan's often played by a lady. That's fine. All right, give me the next one.
All right. This one might look familiar.
All right.
Red Saber.
This is a character in a crimson red dress. It's cleavage bearing. They're a Saber character. Color red.
This
is
the
the Scarlet Pimpernel?
This is the main character of or this is one of the 3 main characters you can summon in Fate Extra. And of course, because it's Fate Extra, or because it's Fate, she has to look exactly like the original Saber.
Okay, that's fine. But look, the color red is clearly a cue. Is this Hester Prynne from the Scarlet Letter?
That's what a girl, right?
I mean, yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to think of jokes that have red in them.
It's a good guess.
It's a good guess.
Is this Eric the Red, the classic Viking?
That's
pirate? Is this Redbeard, the pirate?
You're getting closer.
All right. This is Emperor Nero.
Was Emperor Nero famously known for wearing a lot of red?
And having a see-through section of his dress?
No.
Who could say?
In fact, no.
put a fiddle in this character's hand, then it's Nero.
Right.
I believe that her final move is she like summons the balcony that she plays the fiddle from, and it's like this big giant machine that moves around and kills people.
Oh yeah. We didn't really get into noble phantasms, but that's fine.
Everybody has a super attack basically that uses their weapon.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. This is a character who's in a mini skirt, got a long katana, heavily blue themed, wearing a blue scarf, and she's also wearing like a tracksuit, which makes you think that she's modern. And it's another Saber character. All right, kind of modern clothes, blonde, blue. This is JFK for sure.
You wish. So this one's very unfair to you. This is Mysterious Heroine X, which is just Saber. This is just another character that's just the same Saber from before.
But Mysterious Heroine X is King Arthur.
Right, but she's not King Arthur. No, she's Saber. These are two different characters.
No, I can now. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Next! Awesome!
Avenger is a class that we didn't get to because it's dumb, it's extra, and it's not important to the main game.
We got a character wearing a long, flowing black cloak with fur on it, big sword, thigh-high stockings, slit right up the front for some reason. Now, because there's fur, I'm going to say that they're maybe like Russian, like from the cold. So I'm going to go with, this is Joseph Stalin.
Oh, if only. You're close with the J, but this is actually a character that you guessed earlier.
Joan of Arc?
Joan of Arc. Not just Joan of Arc, but evil Joan of Arc. There's a normal version where she's wearing purple and has a silver armor. This is Joan of Arc Alter.
Okay. Right. So now I just want to get this straight. So male characters are gender swapped as women,
right.
And then women characters are just there.
Women characters are just there also, and then women characters, as we see with Saber, get so many different like, oh, this is Saber but red. This is Saber but in a tracksuit. This is Saber but Joan of Arc but also evil.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, when Pokemon redesigned Pikachu to be different for the new game, but it's like
Pikachu?
Yeah, to be fat Pikachu or
you thought that was great?
Hawaii
Pikachu to Max Tim? Or Alolan Raichu? I get it.
Yeah.
Next slide. Oh, this is awesome.
You know this character, right?
We've got a classic, like kawaii, adorable teenage girl. She's like making a peace sign and she's winking at you. She's got pink hair in a braid, and she's wearing a very short skirt with garters, and she's a rider, which means that she's known for horses. And the most famous horse riding president was Teddy Roosevelt. TR.
Teddy Roosevelt? No.
I don't know who Astolfo is.
Nobody does. Because this is...
You guys do. You put Astolfo with this little slideshow.
I will have you know, I debated putting this character in at all.
There's a complication. This character has become more famous recently because of an event which occurred on Twitter.
It's been famous for a while.
Did Astolfo get canceled?
No, the exact opposite.
Like, the opposite.
Let me talk about genders. There's only this many, and it's like
the exact opposite, actually.
Shut up, Astolfo.
Yeah.
Wait.
So there was a Japanese cosplayer, a man who played Astolfo.
Okay.
And posted some lewd pictures, which I will not go into great detail here, but these pictures involve some comparative images which contained a Monster energy can.
And his own penis.
Okay, well, there we go. And I was trying...
This. Yep. Now I've heard about this.
Yeah.
So this guy cosplays Astolfo? Did he cosplay as Astolfo because of fake granddaughter, or is he some sort of like history goof?
Oh, absolutely.
Fake granddaughter.
Yeah. No, this character comes from a French novel that I had never heard of before knowing this character.
Astolfo is one of Charlemagne's paladins.
That means nothing to me.
Charlie, love him. Ooh, oh my goodness! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's a electric pink-haired pirate lady, and her arms and legs, she's completely covered from head to toe, except for a massive portion of her cleavage.
Right, the most important part.
I'm gonna say that this is. Give me 1 second.
Sure. I mean, you gonna mute yourself?
Oh no, I want people to hear what I'm about to do.
Oh God.
I'm gonna say this is Sir Francis Drake.
I wonder. I wonder if you Googled this.
I mean, oh no! I'll tell you what I Googled. I Googled famous naval officers because I'm like, I bet this is a famous, because I'm I'm like, well, it's not a pirate, so I'm like, I bet it's wearing a red coat.
Wow, that actually worked in your favor.
I love it. He's catching on, though.
Yeah.
It just came up. And that's not the only thing.
Oh boy.
Oh, what the hell is this?
This is an assassin.
Well, all the assassins was that person you said.
Yeah.
The first assassin. Clause.
This one sort of follows that rule. In that I guess it's not technically based off of one real person. I mean, I guess it was a real. I don't know. That gets into a whole nother true crime podcast.
That's fine, because I think I know who it is.
Okay.
All right, listeners. This is unfortunately, a very young-looking girl. White hair, long, like thigh-high stockings, and it has a blade. But if this is a famous historical assassin, I'm going to go with JWB, John Wilkes Booth.
Oh.
Put that sword right in Lincoln's head.
If only you went with a different J name. This is Jack the Ripper.
No, that's a real historical guy. Okay. All right. Nah, and Jack the Ripper definitely used a sword.
Yep.
I never thought they'd be trying to get me to jerk it to Jack the Ripper, but good for them. Good for them. I'm proud of you, Japan.
Really, that's the one that did it for you.
Just keep moving. All right. You kind of have like a thick, like
extra thick.
We have like a thick woman of age, thankfully.
Yeah. Long
black hair, but is wearing red, white, and blue, and has a bunch of American bullshit, and they're a caster. So I'm gonna say this is Thomas Edison.
No. You know what? Can I give you 4 choices?
Sure.
Name a Ninja Turtle.
This is Leonardo Da Vinci?
This is Leonardo Da Vinci.
What's with all the red, white, and blue?
I don't know.
Are these Italy's? I'm going to look up Italy's flag. No, Italy's flag has a lot of orange in it.
Yeah.
The hell? Italy's flag is red, white, and green, like those famous cookies I eat at the Italian bakeries. What the hell is this? This should have been Thomas Edison.
Leonardo da Vinci was summoned into the incorrect body, and then he just liked it better that way. So you can get something from that.
Nope, that's not what happened. Here's what happened. They were like, "Oh shit, we forgot to draw Da Vinci." Well, we do have this art for art for Alexander Graham Bell. Da Vinci soul swap.
I think it's supposed to be that Leonardo da Vinci summoned himself into Mona Lisa's body.
Oh yeah,
Mona Lisa.
That would make sense. That's like the gag. She's like your guidance person in the gacha game. And then I think our next one should be the last one. Yes, it is.
All right. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a lion wearing a skin-tight bodysuit, blue and red, a big star on the chest that has a hole in it, and so it's clearly like a cannon. And this person has like spiked fighting mitts and big boots. This is the most super heroic character we have seen. Just like classic Atlas physique. And they are on Mars or in Arizona?
Mars.
They're on Mars?
Yeah.
Okay, they're on Mars. Lion. Well, the Lion of the Senate was Ted Kennedy, so I'm going to go with Theodore Kennedy himself. Old Chappaquiddick himself, Teddy K.
Somehow, this is a character that you have guessed before, but it is not that. This is Thomas Edison.
Can you give me the line? Can you connect the Lion to Edison? Can you? I mean, if you can't, it's okay, but just can't.
I think that this is a robot suit that he built for himself.
With a lion
This was
head?
another like botched summon thing. Like this was another weird summoning thing that made him into a lion-headed superhero man.
That's fine. You
Yeah.
know what, Thomas Edison? If when you go to bed at night, you imagine you're a lion with a chest cannon and spiked fighting mitts, you live your truth, Tommy. Thomas, you gave us the record player and the light bulb, even though you probably stole it from someone else. I love you, kid. You go. You be you.
Tommy boy.
Tommy boy, you're all right with me.
Yeah, and that's all of our guys here. Of course, there's still plenty more different servants. A lot of them follow the same sort of gag of we're going to make a historical figure into a cute anime girl, but this was the creme de la creme of weird choices. Yeah.
Thank you so much for explaining to me why people care about this game. It's weird, and it's interesting, and it sounds kind of simple. And it also sounds like whatever you're into, there's a game for you. Like if you want to do a bunch of reading and watch some porno scenes, there's a game. If you want to play rock, paper, scissors in a dungeon, there's a game. If you just want to make food for these people, if you're a pedophile, if you're a sex criminal, there's a game. I like it. I'm glad you guys took time out of your Friday night to teach me about this. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for being on. Do you want to plug the Loudest podcast or patreon.com/Asterios?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, listeners, if you like hearing me be loud on this podcast, then you're going to love my podcast, The Loudest Podcast. It's me and Sarancha, who I talked about a lot at the top of the show. She's like a huge weeb, former Japanese teacher. Like, she's a comedian. She's real funny. And then, like, we talk about the weird stuff we encounter on the internet every week. And you can listen to it at theloudestpodcast.com. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it right here on YouTube. Wherever you find podcasts, you can find The Loudest Podcast. And thank you guys for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem. And just before we end, I want to do a quick plug. This podcast isn't technically associated with us, but I want to do a shout out to the Crunch Bunch. This episode is sponsored by the Crunch Bunch.
It is. I'm eating cereal right now, so I feel as though like you just got to bring back the Crunch Bunch.
Yeah, it was our favorite segment.
The Crunch Bunch will return. I have a ton of notes for the Crunch Bunch. I have them all right here. Let me see if I can give you some Crunch Bunch news. All right, just for you guys, real quick.
Yes.
All right, hold on. I'm going to do a Crunch Bunch just for you. Hold on.
Okay.
Crunch Bunch Minute. We're compressing all of the cereal news into 1 minute. It's a tasty bite of news. Number one, Ghostbusters Afterlife cereal has appeared on the Walmart website. So if you miss Ghostbusters cereal, you get that. Crayola Jazzberry cereal. It probably tastes like crap. You can eat that. Dunkaroo cereal is back. Vanilla frosted cookie flavor. Little Debbie is releasing several cereals, including Cosmic Brownies and Little Cream Pies. Now, Waffle Crisp cereal is back after a 20-year absence. Little Yachty got his own cereal box. And Pokemon Berry Blast cereal with Pikachu-themed marshmallows is being found out in the wild to celebrate Pokemon's 25th anniversary. There's so much cereal out there. Eat it. Eat it. Love it. Crunch Bunch out.
That was perfect. Beautiful. Standing ovation. But I wasn't really standing.
Thank you for serenading us with the Crunch Bunch.
I'm here to help. All right. Bye, kids.
All right.
Excellent. Well, great.
Yeah, that went great. You
fantastic.
I guess we don't really have to like finish or sign off or anything. We don't have like a sign off thing, right?
Not really. Not usually.
Should we have like a bit at the end where we're like shit talking him?
Oh yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay, you go first.
Yeah, okay. What a fucking loser. I can't believe he made us do this.
Okay, now I'm gonna stop recording.